hi guys. Who knew I was on today? Okay, 7 people, amazing. Get ready for disappointment now, joking.
When did you realise you were funny?
My brothers always said, you're ugly, but your personality makes up for it. And as mean as it sounds, I wouldn't be here without that advice.
Oh, is it? Oh, none of you are students? Sorry. Oh, no, trust me, that's good news. I literally was about to pop a diazepam when I found out.
What I love about comedy, and just before going onto stage, it never changes. It's been 5-6 years, the feeling never changes. But because you are so scared, your adrenaline is pumping so much, at that moment, nothing in life matters. All the stresses of bills, mortgage, I need to do this, I need to do that. Literally everything is at zero. You're so terrified of bombing, of who's in the audience, of whether they will be impressed, that at that moment, that 5-10 minutes before you go on stage is the most euphoric moment for me, because nothing in this world matters. Oh God, I don't even know what to practice. I haven't even looked at my stuff yet. I've only looked at the first bit. So I grew up in Portsmouth, not very diverse. There was a very small Muslim community, but a Sudanese community. There was only 3 families growing up. We went to schools. We were the only people of colour in our schools at the time. I spoke Sudanese before I spoke English, even though I was born in this country. You know, my parents were very conscious of what my friends did, and you know, we weren't ever allowed to do like sleepovers. My parents came here, my mum was 8 months pregnant with me at the time, so you know, they still hadn't had much experience being in this country, and most of the experiences they did have integrating were really bad experiences, so I would say we were quite closed off. I hate this rhetoric or this mind frame that people have that all you do is talk about race. My race is who I am. When I walk into a room, whether it will be into a comedy club, whether it will be into a pharmacy that I'm working in, whether it will be into a hospital, you will always be looked at face value. How I see something will be different from how a white person will see something, that will be different from how a black male will see something, will be different between how an Asian woman will, like we're all very different, so it's part of who I am. It's so difficult in this industry. It's so difficult to align with your deen without compromising your career. But I think I've reached the point where it's like, you know what, I'm just going to be me. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, halas, like at least I'm doing what I'm enjoying, like what else can I do? I'm very fluent in my language. Before the war, of course, I used to go back to Sudan every single year. I'm very close to my family back home, but at the same time, we're not perfect. As Muslim women, we get it the worst from every single angle. We've got it from the racists, the Karens, we get it from the men, we get it from the Muslim community, and we get it from our own ethnic community. So we're bashed from every single angle. You can go on my comments now on my Instagram and they'll be like, why is she on stage? Oh, I thought she's not allowed to do this. Oh, I thought this, I thought that, I thought that. But it's breaking those stereotypes, and that's my whole intention in doing that. And it's to give Muslim women the confidence of, you know what, you can be hijabi and live your life. I did comedy because number one, I enjoy it, and number two, representation is rubbish. And I do believe by more Muslim women appearing on TV, it gives people an understanding of what Muslim really are.
So did you have any pushback then when you decided that you wanted to do comedy?
Definitely from family. I think it's because the comedy that we see in mainstream and what comedians get up to on TV and stuff like that, they automatically think you're going to end up doing all of that stuff. So they think that I'm going to, okay, maybe I have, like perform in pubs. But unfortunately, the open mic scene is predominantly in places that you are surrounded by alcohol. I always do make the point that I really shouldn't be here, but I wanted to get to a point in my career where I didn't have to perform in places like that.
Have you had any career highlights where you felt like, oh my gosh, okay, I finally made it?
Probably when I supported Mo Gilligan at the O2. That was mad. It's a historical moment. I'll be down as the first Sudanese woman to perform at the O2. Did I think that's when I made it? No, I don't think that's when I made it. I think that was a moment that I was like, oh my God, I've come a long way. I don't think you'll ever feel you've made it until, well, I don't know when. I don't know. My siblings came. Some of my cousins came because they had already bought tickets, but they didn't know I was performing. So that was immense. They were so proud. I didn't tell my parents. The video did end up going viral as the first Sudanese person, blah, 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 and my mum saw it. When she found out about it, I was like, Mum, do you understand what this is? You know, I'm the first person from our community to ever do this. I was like, I performed at the O2. She was like, I don't care, O2, O3, O4, I don't care. My dad is more understanding. My dad was like, look, as long as you represent your people, you don't do anything haram, you don't do anything that doesn't make us want to lift our heads up, like I'm okay with it. Do you know what, I've had Sudanese men who have no comedy, never done an open mic night. Wallahi, I've had someone say, oh, I saw that you did the O2, how do I go about getting a gig booked there? I'm very rarely speechless, but I'm like, oh, what comedy experience have you done? Oh, well, I've written a few jokes.
So I feel like white people always give us opportunities because of diversity quotas.
I would say I've got here faster than a lot of people, 6 years to get to my stage, and I would say I'm only just starting to break through. 6 years, and it's hard work, and it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of like dedication, motivation. You will have severe lows and some really good highs, but you know, it makes me happy when I see people like, I want to get into comedy or I want to get into acting. Like, wallahi, it makes me happy. The more representation we get, the easier it is for the next generation.
I think I'm going to leave you on that note.